I'm about to start working on the bullets for the pistol, and I'm going to do them so that the tip of the bullet is made from pewter and the back casing section is made from brass. Now that I've got all the parts cut out and ready, it's really just a matter of working out the finishing details so that I can come up with a completed set. I'm also working on a transparent version that I've carved out for some perspex. I was able to modify a spade drill to get the shape on the inside that I was after, and once I add the little silver tip to it, that will finish it off quite nicely as well. It also doesn't look like there's going to be any issue as far as sealing liquid inside it, so I'll be making up a set of those to go with the pistol as well. So now that I've got all the bits together, and after a little bit of playing around, I've come up with a prototype for what I'm going for. That's the clear one that'll be filled with liquid, and that's the pewter one to give you a bit of an idea as well. I want to refine the crimping a little bit. I've worked out a way of doing it. I just need it to be a little bit neater than the way that's come out. I've also ordered some stamps so that I can get the lettering put on the back, and I want to tidy up what I'm doing as far as the primer is concerned a little bit as well. I do like the idea of the primer being the silver colour. That's generally how they are. On the resin one that I've got, the primer is actually raised, which doesn't seem to be quite right to me. So I'm going to be setting the cap into the brass pretty well flush, which is more like what a real bullet looks like anyway. But I've also decided I want to have a go at making up a speed loader to go with it, or possibly even a couple of them. I've got some pretty good reference material there as far as pictures are concerned, but while I've got the resin bullets to work with, I don't have any of these components at all, so I have to make them all from scratch. The one starting point that I did have to work with is this top section with the writing on it there. And the writing on that pretty well matches the butt plate for the pistol's handle. The one disadvantage with that obviously is that the piece that went on the handle there is flat. But what I've got is a crystal ball sort of thing, which is about the right size I need for the dome shape, and I was able to heat the piece up that it became soft enough that I was able to squash that over the top of the ball and get that dome shape that I needed. Once I had that shape, I backfilled it with a resin putty, and that's given me the starting point that I'm going to work with to see if I can come up with this little device. Been able to make up something that's pretty close to the original, the major difference being the fixed cross piece. In the pictures you can see there, it seems to have some sort of hinging arrangement, probably to allow everything to sort of latch into place. Pretty sure in the original version, the little square that's there is the bit that rotates, and the shoulder of the square is what sits off the edge and stops the bullet from falling out. But what I found is by rotating that main piece, that the shell will drop out of there and give me the same sort of effect, without the need to have any release springs on the outside arms. I've been able to cast up that cross piece in one solid piece, which has significantly cut down the number of pieces I needed when it came to the full assembly of it. And it looks pretty close to what we're after, so I'm happy enough for that. To try and get all the pieces looking exactly the same, I've made up a number of jigs that allow me to maintain the consistency and the shape and size of them. This one I've made up a modified drill piece to go into the block of wood so that I could set the tips of the bullets and file back the bit that goes into the shell so that the tips all maintain exactly the same length. I made up this one to use in conjunction with my renovator tool. I'm using a sharp edge rather than a serrated edge. That's so I can get a nice fine engraved line that acts as the border I'm after. It's just a matter of setting in at that little base, which again keeps it at a consistent depth, so that I can then introduce the tool to it, and when that's on it's just a matter of rotating around. And the final thing I came up with was the crimping, to get a consistent crimp around the outside edge. And the way I've done that was to take some thread bar and bend that around to make a circle that's a pretty neat fit for the brass tubing. Then I modified a pair of pliers so that it has a round edge on the inside there, and it was just a matter of holding in the correct place like that, using the round edge on the inside of the pipe, and then squashing that down, and then just chasing it around like that until I got the crimp that I wanted on the outside edge. I'm not going to show you the final finish of these just yet. I'm going to leave that to the final reveal video for the pistol so that it can be all shown to you as a complete set. So it's all getting pretty close now, guys. Thanks for watching. Talk to you next time.